So most people just kind of throw a little bit of ab work in there. It's not really well thought out when it comes to training. But if you want to take them to the next level, like here's 4 things that you have to follow. They're going to really help you in the coming months build your abs and make them bulletproof. So one of the biggest mistakes that people make is like they'll just rep the hell out of abs, right? 20, 30, so on and so reps. Like you want to use moderate reps when it comes to ab training. So that 8 to 15 rep range. And other thing is like using pauses, right? So when you get to the top of the crunch position, pause, top of the hanging leg raise, pause, using pauses and everything. So that's one of the key methods when it comes to your ab training. The second one is using weighted reps. Like most of the time you won't see weights being used with abs, but just like anything else in your training, like you want to progress the lows. So for example, if I'm doing a crunch in this situation, this is a extended range of motion crunch, and I'm using a weight, pausing at the top, like I said on that last tip. I can now also progress that load. Now, for example, if I'm doing hanging knee raises, that might mean using ankle straps. It might use extra resistance on an ab rollout on my back or using a weight vest. But either way, thinking about progressive overload, being smart with it and progressing it just like anything else. So make sure that you're weighting some of your ab training and using that 8 to 15 rep range, moderate rep range with pauses. So this is another mistake that people make. Like you want to have higher frequency for abs. I'm talking about 4 to 6 days per week. For most people, they probably start at a 4. And doing 2 exercises for 2, maybe 3 sets of each one. Basically putting, the other thing is like putting them possibly at the beginning of the training session. Could you put them at that? Sure. But if you want to prioritize things, you want to up the frequency, you might want to even shift it to that front side of your training session. Now, one of the ways to do this that I really like is basically prioritizing lower abs, right? And I do a lower ab exercise followed by an upper ab exercise. And for an example, here I'm going to do a hanging leg raise, focus on those lower abs, kind of start in that position at the bottom, right? And I'm going to pull up from the lower abs. Now, again, I might weigh this, just like I said earlier, if I'm keeping it in an 8 to 12 rep range. So for example, I'll be doing that lower ab exercise, and then we're going to move on to basically an upper ab exercise. And now, for instance, for my upper abs, just as an example, I might do a rope crunch, a tall kneeling, right, where we're really kind of trying to roll using our abs. Remember, get that contraction, coming back up. So essentially, number 4 would be, frequency and prioritization. Prioritization meaning working on the things that we want to work on, whether it might be lower abs, doing reverse crunches, high knee raises, and again, more athletic core drills, which might be resisting rotation, which might be, again, planks, rollouts, things of that nature. I actually like to kind of alternate these two. So one day I do athletic abs, which just means anti-flexion, extension, rotation, things of that nature. And then one day doing what I just showed right here. But either way, you want to, again, prioritize it more at the beginning and also the frequency. You're not doing a crazy amount of volume. Again, you said 2 exercises, 2 to 3 sets, plugging that in. But do that and see in the coming months how your abs are coming up. Now, again, as far as like visibility abs, hey, that part, that's nutrition, that's made in the kitchen. But as far as building them, having them pop, the strength, make sure that you're applying these 4 different strategies to bring them up. And if you want more tips like this to look, feel, perform more like an athlete than without the nagging aches and pains, make sure to follow this channel.